Welcome to week number, I forget what week number it is. 1 second, I gotta check. Welcome to week number 16 of my 260 week goal to reach $1 million. So this week, a lot of things going on. I'll just start with the money things. I have $3,500 of credit card debt and I have $6,300 in checkings. So that equals out to a net $2,700. So looking decent there. I have been working on the rattles for my rattle business. Jude's Rattle, for those of you guys who are new. Here, we're making about 120 in this batch. And I got some different patterns that I'm working on. This right here, it's hard to see how it's gonna fit together yet, but if you can see from this angle, the 3 layers of wood, that is gonna be cut to create that, and it's gonna be rounded later. That is the main one, cherry and maple, really pretty. I'm making a special edition with walnut, which is a little more expensive, but I think it's gonna look nice with just the black and white color. For my work, I have this week said no to a job. I was getting 40 an hour to make benches for someone, but the person just wants these things built very quickly. And for my own work, I really want to do work that's meaningful to me, where I can take my time and feel like I'm really putting a good investment into it. And this guy just wants the things knocked out, which is pretty common. They want things done in a way that seems affordable to them. And so I said no to that, which felt good. It's a loss of money, but with that extra time, I think I'm going to be able to invest in something that I care about and will create money more in the future. Some of those things that I'm working on is the baby rattle. I am potentially working with a friend, Colin Jones, who's sourcing stones for the rattle, and very ethically, very mindfully, and I might be getting, still in the making, but could be getting some quartz, so crystals for some of the rattles, which will be really cool, really nice. Great energy for the rattles. Another idea that I have that's in the making is an app. I really want to create this app. This is also an idea from my friend Colin Jones, but that's something that is in the future, but I just need to be able to make time for that. And I'm getting a call from my brother right now, so I have to take it because this is really important. All right, I'll be right back. I just had a talk with my brother and it was really awesome. Where's that piece of paper? One thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention while I was standing was my position in my job, which is exciting. I've been working on getting permits, which is turning out to be a real headache because there's an issue with Santa Fe business license as well as the contractor license that's attached to Legendary Carpentry, which is the business I'm pulling the contract for, or the permit for. So there's some work to be done in there. I'm learning a lot as I'm trying to get this all done, which is great. We're also growing a lot, which is really cool. I have been running a lot of estimates, been getting decent money because we do decent work, and I got a pay raise to 27 an hour from 25 to 27. And I also have been given the privilege of hiring employees, which is a fun process to navigate. I have an interview today that I need to finish up, and 2 days ago, I hired our first employee. So yeah, that's cool. Back to the other video. The other thing I wanted to talk about is bonus things, and curious for any open feedback about what someone thinks about this. So if you have any thoughts or ideas, I'd love a note in the comments. I've been thinking a lot about marketing while I make these little rattles here. Looking at, demographics and how to sell and all that. And there's the marketing theme that seems to work best is creating creating something that works around the right narrative, I guess, to sell. And that narrative is seen in almost all of our movies and stories. And it's often good guy, bad guy, good guy beats bad guy. Very noticeable also in, I don't know, any movie like Star Wars, right? You gotta beat the bad, or in Lord of the Rings even. And in our like political sphere as well, if you've watched like Trump's party marketed really well, and both tried the same marketing thing, but it's like we make the other side look really bad, and then how we solve that is through you voting for the good. So you are the hero, and by voting for the good, they can eliminate the bad, right? That's kind of this narrative that rules our world, and I don't think is very productive, and I think there's a new narrative coming in that is more appropriate. Also in selling things, like a big thing, and I don't know if it's necessarily all bad, but like a big enemy is creating, for me as trying to sell a rattle, would be like creating an enemy towards plastic toys, right? Plastic toys are bad for you. You get microplastics in you. And by targeting places that sell plastic and saying, this is bad for your kid, bringing up research that shows how bad it is, that could create a stronger narrative for someone to want to buy wooden made toys. So, or even like mass production, you attack that to say like, look, make something more locally made. It's not necessarily all good and bad, but a new narrative is that there isn't as much good and evil, good and bad. That I'm working this out, so again, I'd really love feedback. I'm curious what anyone thinks, what you think, you, the viewer. Is this not good and bad? It's like more like a misunderstanding that needs to be that needs to be people need to come together. Like when we see these wars going on and like we're dropping bombs on each other, it's like at the bottom of all of that, we care about each other, we love each other, and there's a misunderstanding, and there's like this gap that creates so much hate and killing, and part of that is that old narrative, right? It's like these guys are bad, but we're good. The only way to bring about good is eliminating this perspective, is eliminating this people group or whatever it is, and that's just not the way to move forward. That being said, I am trying to sell something right now. 1 second. If you have watched the Moana movie, it's like that Islander. I think that's a good example of like of a newer narrative coming in. I'll quickly tell you about it in case you haven't seen it, but it's like there is like this island that's like terrible, and it's a volcano island, and it's difficult to get past that point because this volcano island will like erupt and turn into a monster and create waves and like drown your boat. And then there's this other person, I forget his name, but it's like The Rock plays his voice. We find out later that the mountain is behaving that way because The Rock stole the mountain or the island's like heartstone. And it's like, no wonder if you don't have your heartstone, of course you're going to be mad. And even understanding The Rock's perspective, whatever his name is, Mari maybe, he stole that only because he was like, felt like an orphan, and he wanted to earn the respect of the gods because he was a demigod. And so at the end of that movie, you realize there wasn't the bad and the good. There wasn't like a good guy and a bad guy. It was a misunderstanding. And it's like, okay, we give the island the rock back, it's rockstone, and it's like, and that's all it took, you know. That's what it was. There was a misunderstanding. I wrote a book. It's like a child's book. I'll leave a link for the description below, and I'd love it if you bought it. But it's a different narrative. It's not good guys and bad guys. It's like the evil comes from a misunderstanding between parties. I'm all spacey. Maybe because I talked with my brother. It was a really good talk, but it was also like, there's a lot to talk about. A lot of good things going on. Stay tuned. I'm taking a rest week from my running, but I'm going to start documenting also. After this rest week, I'm going to get into weightlifting. I'm like 175, which is the lightest I've been in years. And I'm going to try and push to 195. All right? Stay cool.